Hello, Year 9, Mr. Thompson here to talk to you today about why you should choose GCSE History to study for the next 2 years. So this PowerPoint I'm going to run through here, this is in addition to the book that you should have received already, going through what we offer for Years 10 and 11. So if you have any questions in addition to this and your booklet, please do just get in touch via email. So GCSE History, why should you choose it? Well, hopefully you are watching this because you're interested in history already. You've enjoyed what you've been studying in Year 9. And one of the great things about history, of course, is you get to find out more about things like this. This looks on the surface like a picture of a dog, but you may be surprised to learn this is actually a piece of art by Adolf Hitler, one of the most notorious individuals of the 20th century. And you wouldn't guess from this, would you, that he went on to become a mass murderer and dictator. But this is exactly the sort of thing we look at in history. We look at different sides to people's character, look at the motivations for their reasons, and how it fits into the bigger picture. So history is for you if you like these things here, if you like asking lots of questions, if you like arguing, if you're nosy, then GCSE History is perfect. All of these things here are the sign of a inquisitive mind who wants to find out more about why things happen and about the past. So exactly the sort of people we like to take the subjects. What do we look at in history? There's four main topics. We look at Germany, mainly based around the Nazis, although wider than that as well. So why did the Nazis come to power? Why did people like them? Scenes like this happening in Germany and other countries in Europe. Why did these men have to fight another war 20 years after the First World War finished? What is this man doing here? This is Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin, one of the first antibiotics. So we look at what's called health and the people, the development of medicine and medical ideas over time. Very relevant, of course, at the moment to the COVID pandemic. And we also look at this lady, Elizabeth I, consistently voted one of the greatest rulers, not just in English history, but in world history. How, as a woman, was she able to control a male-dominated society back in the 16th century? So they're the four topics we look at. This goes into a bit more detail about what you do for each of those. So just as a quick overview for Germany, there's three things you look at. So what was Germany like before World War One? How did the Nazis come into power? Hitler and the Nazis here. And what was it like for the people living in Nazi Germany? Then for what we call conflict and tension. And by the way, this plus Germany be your Year 10 topics. We look at how people tried to sort out the problems of World War I through peace treaties. How did they try to keep the peace through what's called the League of Nations, and why did that not work? What impact did this event called the Great Depression have? Why did it make countries more hostile to one another? Why did Britain and France try to get on Hitler's nice side, try to appease him? Why didn't they try and stop him? And then why did peace collapse by 1939? Why did the Second World War break out? Then in Year 11, you look at these two topics, the first one of which is health and the people. This is a 1,000-year study of medical ideas and progress. So we look at a lot of people, a lot of really fascinating events for this. So we look at why there's been progress, how and why has the scale of progress varied. So, for example, for hundreds of years in medieval England, not really much happened at all. Whereas when we get to the 19th century, things really explode. What impact has medical progress had on wider society? How and why different factors been responsible for these developments? And we also look at key individuals and events from this period as well. Then for Elizabethan England, how did Elizabeth rule the country as a woman in a world dominated by men, so controlling power from in the court and parliament? What was it like for everyone else living in England at the time, in Elizabethan England? How did Elizabeth try to tackle the problems faced at home and abroad with other countries? And also for this one, we do what's called a study of the historic environment. Now, this means potentially you could go on a trip, COVID permitting, of course, but we get given a site in advance, which is a castle, a house, or something else connected to the Elizabethan period. So it does mean that we could potentially organise a trip. So, for example, in the past, we have gone to the Globe Theatre with Year 11 as part of their studies for this. Now, how you assess, there's two exams, both taken at the end of Year 11, both of which are with 50%. So your 2 Year 10 topics, Germany, conflict and tension, are the first paper, and your second paper are your 2 Year 11 topics. So that's health and the people and Elizabethan England. And both papers are a mix of different question types. It's not all big essays. There are a couple of questions which are bigger than others, of course, but there are also small 4-mark questions. There's some 8-mark questions. They test you in a range of different skills, knowledge, analysis, looking at different views of the past, interpretations, and your ability to use historical sources. These are all things you'll look at throughout the course. Indeed, many of these question types you already look at already in Year 9 and previously in Year 8 and 7. So why else is history a good choice? Well, history provides you with a range of what are called transferable skills. It keeps your options open. So if you're not quite sure what you'd like to do yet in later life, history is a great choice to make. It does not close any doors for you. Indeed, it opens lots. So all these things on here are the transferable skills you develop if you're taking a history GCSE, being able to assess reliability of information, getting information from different sources, organising your thoughts clearly, discussing, developing, defending opinions, thinking logically, linking causes and implications of actions, and understanding other points of view. All very desirable skills. And in terms of results, we always get fantastic results at GCSE history. This was our results in 2019, the last time we had normal exams. And over a quarter of our students got a 9 grade, which is a top grade in 2019. And just below that, 21% got an 8. So we had almost 50% of our students getting an 8 and a 9, which in old GCSE language would be an A star and an A star star. And 98% of our students achieve pass grades, a 4 as a pass. And we have approximately about 100 students each year take history. We're one of the most popular option subjects, and we think that's because it's really interesting. We're really passionate teachers. No matter who you have as your teacher for GCSE history, they're all experts in the different topics, and they're all fantastic teachers. And that's why we think we're very successful at GCSE. So there we go. Now, if you have any other questions about it, please do, like I said, send me an email or ask your history teacher, and I'd be more than happy to answer that on your behalf. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you pick history for GCSE. Thank you very much.